Speaking about what's next, obviously you and your team were at the Top Rank official office here in Las Vegas about 4 or 5 days ago, meeting with Bob Arum and all that sort of stuff. You know, the first time that you guys had been there. Obviously, we don't like talking to fighters about what's next. I know and respect you very much, probably more than anyone. You know, you've got a job to handle July 22nd.
Yep.
But in America, when we talk about the face of boxing, your name gets thrown around with a lot of big names.
Yep.
Talk about that experience with Bob and obviously working with him now. Shout out to Ludabella as well, obviously, who's well respected. And you know, you guys are ferocious promotions and that all coming together. How was that experience?
Yeah, look, myself and Bob Arum, Top Rank, have done some big fights in the past, and you know, we've done stadium fights and mega fights. There's a lot of respect there. We have worked together, you know, multiple times, and you know, it just makes all sense having Top Rank, having Debella Entertainment, obviously Ludabella, who's my long time promoter since 2018. You know, he believed in me and backed me back from then. So, you know, we went there and won the championship together, and now we have added a very powerful, you know, force, you know, in Top Rank and Bob Arum, you know, to what I bring to the table. And I'm very, you know, motivated and excited for having this opportunity to be headlining ESPN, opportunity to win another world title in the IBO and put myself in position for the IBF. But you know, having my company, Fresh Promotions, involved in it as well is amazing. And you know, there are a lot of great opportunities to come. But for me, you know, and like you just touched on, fighters stay focused on the task at hand. But again, there are some big names in the division, big fights. I've got a very big name in the world of boxing. Obviously, numbers don't lie. We've done the big stadium fights, we've done the big mega fights. There are many more to come. But for me, my focus, my motivation is Maxi Hughes first, and then the rest can be spoken about. Until then, that is just a small thing, that it's a motivating factor, not a distracting factor. It's a motivating factor of placements and things that can happen, and I believe will happen, and I'll manifest it, and I'm excited for, but motivated for as well.
A fighter that you've been in the ring with twice, Devin Haney, 8 miles from here, he took on Vasily Lomachenko back. We were over here on May the 20th. Some people say that he lost, some people say it was a draw, some people say that he snuck it. He is a name that gets thrown around a lot, that he's going to go to 140. Your thoughts of him moving up to 140 and who you think that he will fight first when he goes to 140?
Yeah, first, it was a great fight, a really good fight, technical fight, and both guys came and brought it. I was very, you know, honored to be there ringside watching, you know, such a great fight. But you know, him moving forward, you know, I think he's going to go to 140. There's obviously been talk with Regis Prograis, which is a great fight as well, and you know, it's on my side, it's a great move because the belt's free up, and I get my opportunity to become champion again. And hopefully, yeah, Devin, you know, does move up, because obviously the IBF rotation, the road that we're taking, is going to be still a while. So the quick way around it is he vacates and we get our title shot straight after this. But you know, whatever moves they make, he's got a good team, good people behind him, and you know, shout out to them guys. I'm sure whatever move they make, it'll be the right move. But I'm very focused on my move now.
Speaking about that move, you don't see Vasily and Devin running it back, or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think, you know, as much as, yeah, it was a great fight, I think that, you know, that was the time right then and there, and you know, as much as the boxing fans would love to have it, I can't see it running back. But you know, I'm sure Lomachenko has some big, you know, names that he can come up against as well.
Fast forwarding, obviously there's a lot of moving parts in the lightweight division. Shakur Stevenson, you know, we talked about the other day, you know, Gervonta Davis, who's just got out of jail, and I'm presuming he's going to go back into training soon. You've spoken about it in Los Angeles a couple of times. You said that, I think, one channel you wanted to feel Tank's power. Talk about that with Devin moving up, and I know you're very focused, you said it before, but is that a future fight that you could possibly see with yourself and Tank? You know, I know obviously you're with Top Rank, he's with Al. How does that move? You know, I mean, when you said in Los Angeles that you want to feel his power, it was sort of like, is that a fight that we could, as ferocious fans and people that love George Kambosos, could see in 224?
Yeah, definitely. Look, especially when I went and said that, I want to feel his power. Exactly the way I said it with Tifa Malapis. You know, I want to feel the power. I'm a fighter. But you know, people can, you know, try to do fantasy matchups and whatever they want. You know, my mindset as a fighter, I'll fight the best of the best and fight anybody. That's a real fighter, that's a real warrior. But at this current stage, I'll focus on one person, and that's Maxi Hughes. That's the only person I have in my mind. And once we handle business there, then we can focus and start to, create the talk and the hype about whoever we can fight. But for now, zoned in on one man, and that's Maxi Hughes. I'm doing a number on him.
When you talk about the best fighting the best, you were one of the first guys to do that. Obviously, coming off the win with Teofimo Lopez, winning all the belts, you went straight into it with Devin Haney. As a fan, and obviously you're focused here, have you seen now that we're seeing more of that because of what you and Devin did and what you did by not really mandating him, but saying, look, do you want all the belts, Devin? Let's go straight into it. The boxing world and the boxing fans respect you so much for that, what you did last year. Your take on that, George?
Yeah, definitely got a lot of respect from the boxing fans. I felt it a lot throughout this whole camp. These 6 weeks I've been here in the US. A lot of respect. I felt it when I came to the Haney Lomachenko fight. Obviously, the fans were going crazy, and not one negative thing. The crazy thing is, and that's where you put things into reality and an aspect of everything. Never in my career, I'm 30 years of age now, I've had a long career, I've been, big name, and I've obviously gone out there and said certain things, and when you look back, you should not have said certain things, but it is what it is. But never in my career have I had anybody ever come up to me, a fan or in the street or whatever, say, hey, Kambosos, you're a bum, or you're this or that. Never, ever. But online, of course, everyone's going to be tough behind the computer, but that's the way the world is. People sit behind their phone with a computer and act tough. But when it comes down to the best fight and the best, and we're going to see it again next week with Crawford, Spence Crawford. That's what we want as boxing fans. You want to see the best guys fighting the best, and who cares? One might lose to this guy, another guy lose to that guy. So be it. And I've said it before, and I'll continue. We'll play the same tune, but it's becoming more and more in boxing now, where you're getting the top fighters fighting the other top fighters, and that's good. So you're telling me now when Spence and Crawford fight and one of them loses, the boxing fans are going to say, no, he's a bum, or he's terrible, or he's shit. Come on, a loss is one in my situation. A loss created even more motivation and set up, aspects to be able to find certain things in my game, change things, and become a better fighter, add more artillery. That's where the boxing fans got to understand that. Who cares? And the UFC do fantastic. You've got guys that might have 15 losses and their main event, and the fans are going crazy for them. But boxing's slowly moving to that way as well, and it's a good thing.
And like we've said many times, we said it in Australia, in Los Angeles, and here in Vegas, we can see one day a facility, potential fight with Shakur versus Haney, you versus Facility, Gervonta versus Shakur, you versus Gervonta. Because you're in the prize fighting game and you're in that era of that division, the chessboard can move in so many pieces.
Yeah, that's what when you're in the elite side of the division, and there's so many other great elite fighters. There's so many opportunities and so many different matches. But again, that goes back to what can happen after. For me, my mindset is the only person on the other side of the ring, and that's Maxi Hughes. That's all I'm focused on. The fantasy matches, everything else can happen, but at this stage I'm zoning on one guy, tunnel vision. That's how it's been for many months since I've known this fight. And of course I'm a big name, and I'm going to be asked about certain people, and I'll give my input as we get closer and closer, and as we're zoning out to 5 weeks. There's only one person.
George, when you come back here and you're reminded when we go to, doesn't matter if we're at the fashion show more and you get stopped 20 times or 30 times, do you feel the fans in Australia underrate and underprivilege how popular you are in the world of boxing? We take you out of Australia, we put you in America, you get swamped. I presume if it's in London and Greece, it's the same. Do you feel the fans back home, because they probably get a little bit too caught up in certain things, and that underprivilege that with you?
Look, I've got a big fan base at home. Even if I don't get as much exposure by certain people, I still get, the exposure needed. And obviously I've built my name up. I have that legacy already in Australia. So I get a lot of support there, but again, yeah, a lot of guys in Australia and a lot of fans will get hypnotised by smoke and mirrors. They build these guys up to make them feel like they're somebody, but when you open up the whole span of the world and boxing worldwide, they're very small fish. We've seen it and we'll continue to see it. But that's the fight game. You know, for us, we just stay focused on what we're doing. We've always done it our way, and no matter what, we did it our way. We got to the top, and again, we're going to do it our way again and get back to the top. And you know, we've got the boxing powerhouses behind us. We've got Top Rank, we've got the Bella, we've got Ferocious Promotions. You know, they're the powerhouses of boxing. Obviously, Top Rank and the Bella. You know, not small fry, not local fish.
How does it feel for you? You obviously headlined in Madison Square Garden,
Yep.
both times against Haynes. You were the A side in the first fight. Obviously, like all things rematches, it's 50-50. How does it feel for you and your team that you're actually headlining a massive show here in America? All eyes this week are on your show, and you're the A side.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, but that's, you know, as far as it can go. You know, at the end of the day, for me, I'm focused on the job at hand. Doesn't matter A side, doesn't matter what side, doesn't matter, you know, how big the event is. You know, I've been called out like that before, and for me now, I'm just focused. There's a ring. That's where the business is handled. You could have 45,000 people in the stadium. You can have 45 people in an arena. It doesn't matter. I've got to handle my business, and that's what's the most important thing for me now. Touching
on Spencer Crawford, our last question before we get off. But Spencer Crawford, it's an undisputed fight. You know, you and Haney were the last ones to do that. Quickly, you know a lot about these two guys. Your take on this fight, the pros, the cons, Terrence, you know, whether can Spence do it. What's your take on that fight?
Look, like I've said, it's a hell of a fight. You know, real 50-50 fight, and you know, my mind continues to shift. You know, as a fight fan and you know, a true, you know, love of the sweet science. You'll see certain things that Crawford does great, and then you see certain things that Spence does great, and you see certain things. Okay, maybe he can, you know, open him up that way and then set him up that way. This is a real, you know, toss of the coin, and until they step in there next week, we're not going to really know. You know, I can say certain things. He's going to do this, he's going to do that, but you know, as a fight fan, I'm excited for it. Obviously, I'm excited for my fight this Saturday. Kambosos versus
you get to go before him.
I get to go before him. Kambosos versus Hughes, live on ESPN, America wide, live on pay-per-view back in Australia. Main event K, go over to now, and Sky Sports, obviously in the UK, got a lot of UK fans. So this is my business now. And then next week, I'll be able to sit down, relax, and tune into a great fight. But again, credit to both guys. There will be a winner, there will be a loser. I have gone out there and said it before that there could be a draw. Don't be you know, don't underestimate back in the draw, but great fight for boxing, and thank you to both guys.